Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Blake? What? Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron is here. Welcome back, everybody, for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. Guys, I noticed my audio's been a little off lately, and it's been a little echo. Oh, look, that's because I don't have the right
selected. And also, I cleaned out the studio, and I haven't replaced what I cleaned out with any more stuff, so it's echoey. So forgive me for that, guys. All right, well, guys, I finally did it. I finally accomplished one of my number one goals in life, which was to make it onto the Joe Rogan Experience. And this is thanks to my friend Kurt Metzger, a comedian I've been a fan of for a very long time. He's been a friend of Joe's for a very long time. He's been on Joe's program a bunch of times. Now, guys, it's not quite as good as being interviewed on Joe's podcast, but what's the next best thing? What's the next best thing to being interviewed on the biggest podcast in the world? Having your name and your channel name dropped on the biggest podcast in the world. Thank you, Kurt Metzger. Thank you, sir. You guys, I like to talk. I'm going to give you a little bit of an intro to this. Several months ago, many months ago, I saw Kurt Metzger starting to make comments on my videos, and the comments were of this type of flavor. I can't believe you don't already know that Scientology is a CIA cutout and stuff like this. And I'm like, that cannot be the real Kurt Metzger. I've been a fan of Kurt's forever. I was like, that cannot be the real Kurt Metzger. I'm like, why would Kurt Metzger be commenting on my videos? And I do my little clicky click click. I'm like, that is the real Kurt Metzger. And so I kept responding to his comments saying, hey, let's do a chat. Let's do a chat. Let's do a chat. And he would never respond to my responses to his comments. And then I saw Kurt went on the podcast of one of my friends, Julian Dory. And I texted Julian. I was like, Julian, Kurt has been commenting on my videos, and I've been trying to get his attention, and I have not been able to. Can you tell him that I'd love to chat with him? So anyway, he introduced us, and I went on Kurt's podcast a couple times recently. And let me just show you. Kurt is just sort of a mad genius. Here is his channel. Now, the thing is, Kurt does what no one else that I've seen at his level in the comedy industry or even the entertainment industry does. He does live streams just like we do here. It's a perfect symbiotic relationship. He does live streams. So he's like, hey, come on my channel and do a live stream with me. And so this is his channel, Kurt Metzger. And he goes live, I think it's once a week. And so the first one we did together was this one. You can see here, Honorable Judge Kurt Metzger, respected astronaut. And I had a little inside joke, which cracked me up more than anyone else. My name here is Aaron Bustamante. A little bit of an homage to Andrew Bustamante, former CIA agent who's all over the podcast scene. Then a couple weeks ago, we did another video here. Once again, the Honorable Kurt Metzger, respected astronaut. He is very respected as an astronaut. And okay, so Kurt was on Rogan yesterday, and I didn't even get a chance to watch the whole thing. And I started getting comments of like, hey, you were mentioned in the Joe Rogan Experience yesterday. And I even went so far, I'm like, I'm not going to watch a 2.5 hour video just to hear one mention of my name. I even went so far as to copy the entire transcript of the video from YouTube, throw it into AI, and say, is there any mention here of Aaron, Scientology, or cult? And the answer was no. And so I thought I was just getting punked. Anyway, someone finally sent me the timestamp. Let me show you my debut on the Joe Rogan Experience, you guys. Here we go. Hope the audio's good. Here we go.
Every cult you hear about, like NXIVM, right?
Right.
There's always a circle within a circle, right? And a lot of people say every cult becomes a sex cult. But that's not necessarily true. Aaron, my friend from, he has a great channel, Growing Up Scientology. And he pointed out, he goes, you know, Scientology did not become a sex cult, even though that shit clearly happened in it. The cult wasn't like NXIVM where it's like, you got to give me a blowjob. Right. Okay, but why? And I was like, oh, I couldn't figure it out. And James McCann explained it to me. James McCann goes, oh, that's how you become a real religion. If you can keep your cult from becoming a sex cult long enough, you can become a religion. That's why it didn't become a sex cult. There'll be time for vicious sexual assault once you get that tax exemption. But you just got to hold it together.
McCann's a fuck. Okay, there you go. Short but sweet, you guys. Short But sweet, I'm one step closer to actualizing my dream. And yeah, I don't know if it'll happen, you guys. So the only ex-Scientologist that I'm aware of that Joe has interviewed is Leah Remini and Ron Miscavige Sr., David Miscavige's dad. And I would like to think that if Joe and I did a chat about Scientology, we would probably vibe with each other a little bit better than he vibed with Ron Sr. And Leah. And I got to tell you, Ron Miscavige Sr. had this young guy who was working as his manager. And I spoke with him, and he told me that after Joe interviewed Ron Sr., Joe was really pissed off. And he said he wasn't going to do any more Scientology interviews. He had received a letter from Scientology that he was forced to read in the beginning of the podcast. The conversation with Ron did not go very well. They did not jive. I think Joe took a bit of offense to a father writing a book about their son. Ron got really defensive in the interview about having any responsibility whatsoever for how David Miscavige turned out or anything. And it was honestly just a bit uncomfortable. But Joe mentioned Scientology in his podcast, in his episodes, all the time. He makes Scientology jokes all the time. He makes reference to his Scientologist, he used to have a Scientologist neighbor all the time. He makes reference to having read Dianetics. They even recently, not that long ago, showed a clip from South Park making fun of Scientology and Xenu and the Body Thetans and the Galactic Confederacy and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I got to tell you, my desire to eventually one day be able to have a conversation about Scientology with Joe, I feel like my desire to do that is a reflection of what I feel like my desire is for why I'm here on YouTube talking about Scientology anyway. And it's just to do anything I can every single day to accomplish two things: make it slightly less likely that someone's going to join Scientology, and make it slightly more likely that someone's going to be able to leave Scientology. And then, of course, you have the SPTV Foundation that exists to help facilitate that process along. And it just, I guess for me, it feels like it would be sort of a sense of my ultimate accomplishment to have this type of conversations that I have with all of you on this channel every day, but to have the opportunity to have that on the biggest podcast in the world. I feel like the rest of my life would just be downhill from there. And I don't know, maybe that's a bad thing. You know, I don't know. Is it too young to peak at 45? Because if I make it on JRE, guys, for me, that's the peak. You're probably going to see less and less of me after that point. I'm going to go into semi-retirement, you know? So anyway, I'm kind of joking about that. But let's see. What else? Yeah. I mean, you know, so up until now, I'm trying to remember, is Lex Fridman the biggest podcast that I've been on? No. Lex Fridman used to be the biggest podcast that I was on, but more recently, Tyler Oliveira has a significantly larger YouTube channel than Lex Fridman. Now, technically speaking, Tyler Oliveira is not really a podcast. He's a YouTube channel. But between Lex Fridman, Jordan Peterson, Andy Stumpf, Tyler Oliveira, Tommy G, Danny Jones, Julian Dory, I feel like I've been relatively successful on trying to flood the zone with true information about Scientology, trying to be as prolific as possible. What I have not been as successful with is successfully getting other people to commit themselves to that same thing to the same degree that I have. And I do consider that a failure, because I don't consider it to be a success for me to just be the biggest ex-Scientology channel. I don't consider that to be a success. That is a success, but I don't consider that to be success. I would consider a success to be 5 or 10 people doing this every single day. And to a large extent, that's only possible if you can make money doing it, because otherwise your time's got to be spent doing things to make the money to support your family. And, you know, those of you who've been around for a few years know that there has been, you know, some meaningful efforts to bring that about. And I thought it would be easier for more people to, you know, let me say this. I truly believe that if someone has the skills, if someone has the dedication, success will absolutely follow. The skills aren't enough. You can have the skills, but you're not dedicated enough to the work. It's not going to work. If you've got the skills and you've got the dedication, success will come. And even though there's been a lot of ups and downs in the sort of ex-Scientology movement in the YouTube space over the last couple of years, I do maintain this. Anyone else who wants to dedicate themselves to this effort and approaches it with a set of skills, and they can commit to keeping their eye on the target and not being an absolute lunatic and not trying to turn people against each other and not trying to witch hunt and not trying to attack people, I commit that I will continue to use my platform to try to help any other ex-Scientologists who want to try to do something similar to what I'm doing. I am still dedicated to helping other people succeed doing this, because that truly is David Miscavige's nightmare. Not just having one guy that people watch or a few other people that people watch, you know, some of the time, but a lot of people, preferably people who are working together, but at least people who are staying out of each other's way. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right, let's just look at some starred comments and we'll wrap this short one up for the day. Okay, Super Weekend Warriors comment. I would love to see an interview with you and Joe. Lady Pamela, it will happen, Aaron. It might just take a minute. Old Frizzle, glad you got a mention on a huge podcast, even though it was Joe Rogan. Oh, boo. Old Frizzle, are you throwing shade at Papa Joe? Okay, TJ Tampa, a clip mention. Okay, but Joe has got to get you in real life. Yes. Miss in Rainbows. OMG, I was getting all hyped up. It's still cool, though. Hey, I was getting all hyped up just hearing that my name got mentioned, okay? C.O. Belf, you both have beloved Samwise Gange-type figures named Jamie. Oh, C.O. Belf, you're making a reference that's going right over my head. Oh, Jamie! I get it. He's got a Jamie. I've got a Jamie. Oh, is Samwise a Hobbit reference? Is that a Hobbit reference? Okay. All right. I get it. Criverasium. Hold on. Criverasium. Yours would be a different conversation. Definitely. Yes. Andrea Malloy. Good to see you, Andrea. Solana. Lawrence Wright. He also had Lawrence Wright on there about Scientology as well. Yeah, but Lawrence Wright's not an ex-Scientologist, and they weren't just talking about Scientology. Matt Elliott, good to see you, Matt. Happy New Year, and thanks for being a channel member for 21 months. Lady Pamela, can you reach out to Joe, or is that weird? To me, that's weird. I don't really ask to go on people's podcasts. And also, someone like Joe only talks to people he wants to talk to. Asking to come on the show doesn't do anything. So who knows? It might never happen, but a man can dream. All right, guys, short but sweet. What time is it? 6 o'clock. I think I'm going to do more tonight, so we'll see. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe.